చిట్టి జింక స్నేహం విలువ. ఒకప్పుడు పచ్చని అడవిలో ఎన్నో జంతువులు, పక్షులు సంతోషంగా జీవించేవి. ఆ అడవిలో పచ్చని చెట్లు, చల్లటి గాలి, తీయని వాగులు ఉండేవి. అక్కడి జంతువులు ఒకరికొకరు సహాయం చేసుకుంటూ ఆనందంగా గడిపేవి. ఆ అడవిలో ఒక చిట్టి జింక ఉండేది. దాని పేరు చందమామ. అది ఇంకా చిన్న వయసులో ఉండటం వల్ల చాలా అమాయకంగా ఉండేది. ప్రతిరోజూ కొత్త కొత్త ప్రదేశాలు చూసి ఆనందపడేది. కానీ ఒక సమస్య ఏమిటంటే, చందమామకు చాలా ఎక్కువ ఆసక్తి. ఏదైనా కొత్తగా కనిపిస్తే వెంటనే వెళ్లి చూడాలని అనుకునేది. ఒకరోజు ఉదయం చందమామ తన అమ్మతో కలిసి గడ్డి తింటూ ఉండగా, దూరంలో మెరిసే ఒక పూలతోట కనిపించింది. ఆ పూల రంగులు, వాసన చూసి చందమామ చాలా మంత్రముగ్ధమైపోయింది. అమ్మ చెప్పింది, చందమామ, అక్కడికి వెళ్లకూడదు. ఆ దారి అడవి సింహం పరిధి. అది చాలా ప్రమాదకరం. కాని చందమామ తన మనసులో అనుకుంది, అది అంత భయంకరంగా ఉండదు. నేను ఒక్కసారి చూసి వస్తాను. మరుసటి రోజు ఉదయం, అమ్మ దృష్టిలో లేకుండా చందమామ ఆ పూల తోట వైపు నడిచింది. మొదట్లో దారి చాలా సురక్షితంగా అనిపించింది. పూల సువాసన దాన్ని మరింత ముందుకు లాక్కెళ్ళింది. కాని అప్పుడు ఎక్కడినుంచో ఒక పెద్ద గర్జన వినిపించింది. అది అడవి సింహం, సింధు. సింధు చందమామను చూసి, అయ్యో! ఈరోజు ఉదయం భోజనం సిద్ధమైందే అని అనుకుంది. అది వెంటనే చందమామ వైపు పరుగెత్తింది. చందమామ భయపడి ప్రాణం మీద పరిగెత్తింది. కాని చిన్న కాళ్లతో పెద్ద సింహం నుండి తప్పించుకోవడం కష్టం అయింది. అదే సమయంలో, ఆ ప్రాంతంలో నివసించే ఒక తెలివైన నక్క, చాకలి, ఆ దృశ్యం చూసింది. చందమామను కాపాడాలని నిర్ణయించుకుంది. చాకలి సింహం దగ్గరకు వెళ్లి, సింధూ అన్నా, నువ్వు ఇప్పుడు ఈ చిన్న జింకను తింటే, నీకు పెద్ద విందు కోల్పోతావు. దగ్గరలోనే పెద్ద ఎద్దు గాయపడి పడుంది. నువ్వు దాన్ని తింటే నీకు రోజంతా తిండి తిప్పలు ఉండవు అని చెప్పింది. సింహం ఆలోచించి, హా, నిజమే. ఈ చిన్నది కన్నా ఎద్దు బాగుంటుంది అని అనుకుంది. అది వెంటనే నక్క చెప్పిన దిశలో పరుగెత్తింది. చాకలి చందమామ దగ్గరకు వచ్చి, నీ ప్రాణం తప్పింది. కాని ఇకపై అమ్మ మాట వినాలి. ఎక్కువ ఆసక్తి ఎప్పుడూ మంచిది కాదు అని చెప్పింది. చందమామ తన తప్పు గ్రహించి, చాకలికి ధన్యవాదాలు చెప్పింది. తరువాతి రోజుల్లో చందమామ తన అమ్మ దగ్గరే ఉండి, అడవిలోని అన్ని జంతువులతో స్నేహం పెంచుకుంది. నక్క చాకలి, గూడ్లగూబ గుడ్డి, చిలుక చిట్టి అందరూ కలిసి ఆడుకునేవారు. పాఠం: ఆసక్తి మనకు కొత్త విషయాలు చూపుతుంది కానీ జాగ్రత్త లేకపోతే అది ప్రమాదంలోకి నెట్టేస్తుంది. పెద్దల మాట వినడం, స్నేహితులను విలువ చేయడం చాలా ముఖ్యం.
Little Deer, the value of friendship. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, many animals and birds lived happily. The forest was full of tall green trees, cool breezes, and sweet flowing streams. All the animals helped each other and lived in harmony. In that forest lived a little deer named Chandamama. She was still very young and innocent. Every day, she loved to explore new places. But there was one small problem: Chandamama was too curious. Whenever she saw something new, she would immediately want to go and check it out. One morning, while Chandamama was grazing with her mother, she spotted a beautiful flower garden far away. The bright colors and the sweet fragrance of the flowers fascinated her. Her mother warned her, Chandamama, don't go there. That path belongs to the forest lion. It's very dangerous. But in her heart, Chandamama thought, it can't be that dangerous. I'll just take a quick look. The next morning, while her mother wasn't watching, Chandamama quietly walked toward the flower garden. At first, the path seemed safe. The pleasant smell of the flowers pulled her closer and closer. But suddenly, she heard a loud roar from somewhere nearby. It was Sindhu, the lion of the forest. Sindhu saw Chandamama and thought, oh, my breakfast is ready today. He immediately charged toward her. Chandamama, terrified, ran for her life. But with her small legs, it was hard to escape a big lion. Just then, a clever fox named Chakali who lived in that area noticed the scene. Determined to save the little deer, Chakali ran to the lion and said, Brother Sindhu, if you eat this tiny deer now, you'll miss out on a grand feast. Just nearby, there's a big injured bull lying helpless. If you eat it, you'll have enough food for the whole day. The lion thought for a moment and said, You're right. A bull is better than this small one. Immediately, he ran in the direction the fox mentioned. Chakali then went to Chandamama and said, Your life has been saved. But from now on, listen to your mother. Too much curiosity is never safe. Chandamama realized her mistake and thanked the fox. In the days that followed, Chandamama stayed close to her mother and made friends with all the other animals in the forest, Chakali the fox, Buddi the owl, Chitti the parrot, and many more. They all played together happily. Moral: curiosity can lead us to new things, but without caution, it can also put us in danger. Listening to elders and valuing true friends is very important.
పచ్చని అడవి స్నేహితుల కథ. ఒకప్పుడు దూరంగా ఉన్న పచ్చని అడవిలో ఎన్నో రకాల జంతువులు సంతోషంగా నివసించేవి. అక్కడ పెద్ద పెద్ద చెట్లు, పారే వాగులు, రంగురంగుల పూలు, మధురమైన పక్షుల కిలకిలరావాలు, అన్నీ కలిపి స్వర్గం లాంటి వాతావరణం ఉండేది. ఆ అడవిలో ప్రధానంగా 4 మంచి స్నేహితులు ఉండేవారు: చిట్టి కుందేలు మిత్ర, పిట్ట మయూరి, కుందేలు, గానీ కాకి చిట్టి, మరియు బుద్ధిమంతుడు ఏనుగు గణేష్. వీళ్లు చిన్నా పెద్దా జంతువులందరికీ సహాయం చేసే స్వభావం కలవారు. మిత్ర వేగం, ధైర్యం. మిత్ర చాలా వేగంగా పరుగెత్తేది. ఎవరికైనా త్వరగా సహాయం చేయాల్సి వస్తే మిత్రానే ముందుండేది. అయితే కొన్నిసార్లు ఎక్కువ ఆలోచించకుండా పనులు మొదలు పెట్టే అలవాటు ఉండేది. మయూరి అందం, గానం. మయూరి ఒక అందమైన నెమలి. అది అద్భుతంగా పాడేది, డ్యాన్స్ చేసేది. అందరూ దాని గానం విని మంత్రముగ్ధులయ్యేవారు. చిట్టి చాకచక్యం. చిట్టి ఒక చిన్న కాకి. కాని దానికి చాలా తెలివి, చాకచక్యం ఉండేది. కొత్త ఐడియాలు, సమస్యల పరిష్కారం చిట్టి దగ్గరే ఉండేవి. గణేష్ బలశాలి, జ్ఞానవంతుడు. గణేష్ ఒక పెద్ద ఏనుగు. బలం, జ్ఞానం రెండూ కలిగినవాడు. అందరూ అతనిని గౌరవించేవారు. కథ ప్రారంభం. ఒక చల్లని ఉదయం, ఈ 4 స్నేహితులు అడవి అంచున ఉన్న వాగు దగ్గర కలుసుకున్నారు. మయూరి తన రంగురంగుల రెక్కలను సూర్యరశ్మిలో విప్పి, మధురమైన పాట పాడుతోంది. మిత్రా గడ్డి మీద గెంతుతూ ఆటలాడుతోంది. చిట్టి ఆకాశంలో చుట్టూ తిరుగుతూ, ఎక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందో గమనిస్తోంది. గణేష్ మాత్రం నీరు తాగుతూ ప్రశాంతంగా కూర్చున్నాడు. అచానక్ చిట్టి కిందికి వచ్చి ఉలిక్కిపడుతూ చెప్పింది, స్నేహితులారా, మన అడవిలో సమస్య వచ్చింది. పశ్చిమ వైపు ఉన్న చిన్న జింక పిల్ల పొదల్లో ఇరుక్కుపోయింది. దాని తల్లి భయపడిపోతూ అటూ ఇటూ తిరుగుతోంది. మనం ఏదైనా చేయాలి. మిత్రా ఒక్కసారిగా లేచి, నేనే వెళ్లి దానిని బయటికి తీయగలను అని చెప్పింది. గణేష్ ఆపుతూ, అరే మిత్రా, తొందరపడి పోవద్దు. ముందుగా పరిసరాలు సురక్షితమా కాదా చూడాలి. అక్కడ పులి ఉంటే ప్రమాదం. మయూరి చిట్టిని చూసి, నువ్వు ముందుగా ఎగిరి చూసి, పరిస్థితి ఎలా ఉందో చెప్పు. చిట్టి వెంటనే ఎగిరి వెళ్లి, కొన్ని నిమిషాల తర్వాత వచ్చి చెప్పింది, పులి కనిపించడం లేదు. కాని పొదలు చాలా ముల్లుగా పోయాయి. జింక పిల్ల కాలు గాయమైంది. జింక పిల్లను రక్షించడం. 4 స్నేహితులు వెంటనే అక్కడికి పరుగెత్తారు. మిత్రా తన వేగంతో పొదల మధ్య చేరి, జింక పిల్లను మెల్లగా బయటికి లాగింది. గణేష్ తన పొడవాటి తొండంతో ముల్లుల కొమ్మలను పక్కకు జరిపాడు. మయూరి తన రెక్కలతో గాలిని ఊదుతూ దుమ్మును తొలగించింది. చిట్టి దగ్గర్లోని వాగు నుంచి నీటిని తెచ్చి, గాయానికి శుభ్రం చేసింది. జింక పిల్ల కృతజ్ఞతతో, మీరు లేకపోతే నేను బయట పడేదాన్ని కాదు. ధన్యవాదాలు అని చెప్పింది. అందరూ సంతోషంగా నవ్వుకున్నారు. కొత్త సమస్య. రోజులు గడుస్తున్నాయి. ఒక రోజు, అడవిలోని పక్షులు ఆందోళన చెందుతూ మయూరి దగ్గరకు వచ్చాయి. మయూరి, మన చెట్ల పండ్లు ఎక్కడికో మాయం అవుతున్నాయి. రాత్రిల్లో ఎవరో దొంగతనం చేస్తున్నారు. మయూరి ఈ విషయానికి తన స్నేహితులకి చెప్పింది. గణేష్ ఆలోచిస్తూ, మనకు రాత్రి దొంగను పట్టుకోవాలి. కాని మానవుల వలలో పడకుండా జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండాలి. చిట్టి ఒక ప్లాన్ వేసింది. మనమందరం దాగి, పండ్ల దగ్గర కాపు కాయుదాం. దొంగను పట్టుకోవడం. రాత్రి పడగానే 4 స్నేహితులు చెట్ల మధ్య దాక్కున్నారు. మిత్రా చెట్టు అడుగున, మయూరి కొమ్మలపై, చిట్టి పైకి ఎగిరి గమనిస్తూ, గణేష్ పెద్ద చెట్టు వెనుక నిలబడ్డాడు. అప్పసుద్దేంగా ఒక నలుపు రంగు నీడ నెమ్మదిగా పండ్ల దగ్గరికి వచ్చింది. అది ఒక చతురమైన కోతి. అది చెట్టు ఎక్కి పండ్లు ఏరడం మొదలుపెట్టింది. మిత్ర ఒక సిగ్నల్ ఇచ్చింది. మయూరి తన రెక్కలను బలంగా అటకాయించి గాలి వేగాన్ని పెంచింది. కోతి భయపడి జారిపోయింది. గణేష్ తన తొండంతో దానిని ఎత్తి నేలమీద మెల్లగా పెట్టాడు. కోతి భయంతో, క్షమించండి, నేను ఆకలితో ఇలా చేశాను. ఇకపై దొంగతనం చేయను. స్నేహితులు దానిని మందలించకుండా, నువ్వు సహాయం అడిగితే మేము పంచుకుంటాం. కానీ దొంగతనం చేయకూడదు అని చెప్పారు. కోతి కూడా వాళ్లతో స్నేహం చేసుకుంది. అడవికి ప్రమాదం. కొన్ని నెలల తర్వాత అడవికి నిజమైన ప్రమాదం వచ్చింది. మనుషులు అక్కడ చెట్లు నరికి రహదారి వేయాలని ప్లాన్ చేశారు. పక్షులు, జంతువులు భయంతో ఏం చేయాలో తెలియకపోయాయి. అప్పటికి గణేష్ అన్నాడు, మనమందరం ఐక్యంగా ఉండి వాళ్లకు ఈ అడవి మన ఇల్లు అని తెలియజేయాలి. మయూరి, చిట్టి, మిత్ర, కోతి అందరూ కలిసి పక్షులు, జంతువులందరినీ సమీకరించారు. మయూరి ఒక గానం చేస్తూ, చిట్టి ఆకాశంలో చుట్టూ తిరిగి సందేశం ఇచ్చింది. అందరూ మనుషుల దగ్గరికి చేరి, గణేష్ పెద్ద గళంతో శంఖం ఊదినట్లుగా గర్జించాడు. మనుషులు ఆశ్చర్యపోయి, ఈ జంతువుల ఏకతను చూసి, రహదారి ప్లాన్ మార్చేశారు. ముగింపు. ఆ రోజునుంచి అడవిలో జంతువులందరూ స్నేహంగా జీవించారు. ఎవరికైనా కష్టం వస్తే అందరూ కలసి పరిష్కరించేవారు. మిత్ర యొక్క వేగం, మయూరి యొక్క అందం, చిట్టి యొక్క తెలివి, గణేష్ యొక్క జ్ఞానం, ఈ నలుగురి స్నేహం అడవికి రక్షణగా నిలిచింది. మార్మికం. స్నేహం, సహాయం, ఐక్యత ఇవే జీవితాన్ని అందంగా మార్చే మంత్రాలు. పచ్చని.
The story of friends in the green forest. Once upon a time, in a faraway green forest, many kinds of animals lived happily. There were tall trees, flowing streams, colorful flowers, and sweet chirping of birds. It was like heaven. In this forest lived 4 best friends, Mitra the rabbit, Mayuri the peacock, Chitti the crow, and Ganesha the wise elephant. They were always ready to help all the animals, big and small. Mitra, speed and courage. Mitra could run very fast. Whenever someone needed help quickly, Mitra would be the first to rush. But sometimes, she acted before thinking. Mayuri, beauty and song. Mayuri was a beautiful peacock. She could sing and dance wonderfully, and everyone loved to hear her songs. Chitti, cleverness. Chitti was a small crow, but very smart. She always had new ideas and clever solutions for problems. Ganesha, strength and wisdom. Ganesha was a big elephant. He was strong and wise, and everyone in the forest respected him. The beginning. One cool morning, the 4 friends met near a stream at the edge of the forest. Mayuri spread her colorful feathers in the sunlight and sang a sweet song. Mitra hopped around playfully in the grass. Chitti flew in circles above, watching what was happening in the forest. Ganesha drank water peacefully. Suddenly, Chitti flew down in a hurry and said, "Friends, there's a problem in our forest. A little deer is stuck in the bushes on the west side. Its mother is running around, frightened. We must do something." Mitra immediately jumped up. "I'll go and get it out right now." Ganesha stopped her. "Wait, Mitra, don't rush. We should first make sure it's safe. If there's a tiger nearby, it could be dangerous." Mayuri turned to Chitti. "You fly ahead and check the situation." Chitti flew off quickly and returned after a few minutes. No tiger in sight, but the bushes are full of thorns, and the deer's leg is hurt. Rescuing the little deer, the 4 friends hurried to the spot. Mitra dashed into the bushes and gently pulled the little deer out. Ganesha used his long trunk to move the thorny branches aside. Mayuri flapped her wings to blow away the dust. Chitti brought water from the stream nearby to clean the wound. The little deer said gratefully, "Without you, I wouldn't have gotten out. Thank you so much." They all smiled happily. A new problem. Days passed peacefully. One day, the birds in the forest came to Mayuri in worry. "Mayuri, the fruits from our trees are disappearing. Someone is stealing them at night." Mayuri told her friends. Ganesha thought for a moment. "We must catch the thief at night. But we must be careful not to fall into traps set by humans." Chitti came up with an idea. "Let's hide near the fruit trees and keep watch." Catching the thief. That night, the 4 friends hid around the trees. Mitra stayed at the base of a tree. Mayuri perched on a branch, Chitti flew above to keep watch, and Ganesha stood behind a large tree. After a while, a dark shadow crept toward the fruit trees. It was a clever monkey. It climbed the tree and started picking fruits. Mitra gave a signal. Mayuri flapped her wings strongly, creating a gust of wind. The monkey slipped in fear. Ganesha caught it gently with his trunk and placed it on the ground. The monkey said nervously, "I'm sorry, I was just hungry. I won't steal again." Instead of scolding, the friends said, "If you ask, we will share. But you must not steal." The monkey agreed and became their friend too. A danger to the forest. Months later, a real danger came. Humans planned to cut down the trees and build a road. The birds and animals were frightened and didn't know what to do. Ganesha said, "We must all unite and show them this forest is our home." Mayuri, Chitti, Mitra, and the monkey gathered all the birds and animals. Mayuri sang loudly, Chitti flew around to spread the message. When all the animals stood together before the humans, Ganesha trumpeted like a loud conch shell. The humans were amazed to see such unity and decided to change their plan. The end from that day, all the animals in the forest lived happily and helped each other. Mitra's speed, Mayuri's beauty, Chitti's cleverness, and Ganesha's wisdom kept the forest safe forever. Moral: friendship, helping others, and unity are the true secrets to a beautiful life.
ఒకప్పుడు పచ్చని అడవిలో ఒక చిట్టి తెల్ల కుందేలు ఉండేది. అది చాలా ఉత్సాహంగా ఆడుకునే పాపాయి. కాని దానికి పెద్దగా స్నేహితులు ఉండేవారు కాదు. ఒకరోజు అది అడవిలో గెంతుకుంటూ వెళ్ళుతుంటే, ఒక చిన్న చిలుక గాయపడి చెట్టు కింద పడింది. కుందేలు వెంటనే చిలుకను తన చిన్న ఇంటికి తీసుకెళ్లి, ఆకులు, పువ్వులు సర్చి మంచం వేసి జాగ్రత్తగా చూసుకుంది. కొన్ని రోజుల్లో చిలుక మళ్లీ ఎగరగలిగింది. ఆనందంతో అది కుందేలు చుట్టూ చక్కర్లు కొడుతూ, "నీవు నా ప్రాణస్నేహితురాలు" అని చెప్పింది. ఆ తర్వాత కుందేలు ఒంటరిగా ఉండేది కాదు. అడవిలోని జింక, తాబేలు, గిల్లి, అందరూ దానికి స్నేహితులు అయ్యారు. చిట్టి కుందేలు ఆ రోజు తెలుసుకుంది, సాయం చేసే హృదయం ఎప్పుడూ మిత్రత్వం తెస్తుంది.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a little white rabbit. She was a playful and lively creature, always hopping around with excitement. But she didn't have many friends. One day, while hopping through the forest, she saw a small parrot lying injured under a tree. The rabbit immediately carried the parrot to her little home and made a cozy bed using leaves and flowers. She took care of it lovingly. Within a few days, the parrot recovered and was able to fly again. Overjoyed, it circled around the rabbit and said, "You are my dearest friend." From that day on, the rabbit was never lonely again. The deer, the tortoise, the squirrel, all the forest animals became her friends. That little rabbit learned an important truth that day: a helping heart always brings friendship. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest.
Once upon a time in a quiet village surrounded by meadows and forests, there lived a curious little girl named Luna. She had bright eyes, a backpack full of crayons, and a head full of dreams. Luna loved looking up at the sky, especially on cloudy days, imagining that the clouds were giant castles floating above the world. One breezy afternoon, as Luna lay on the grass watching the clouds, a small puff of wind blew a golden feather into her hand. It shimmered with magic and felt warm. Suddenly, she heard a whisper. "Follow the feather, brave heart. The sky needs your help." Before she could ask what that meant, the feather floated into the air. Luna jumped up and followed it through the fields and past the woods until she reached a tall, twisted tree with a hollow trunk. The feather zipped inside. Luna hesitated, but her curiosity won. She climbed in, and poof, a soft swirl of clouds wrapped around her like a blanket, and up she flew. The cloud castle. Luna landed on something soft. When she opened her eyes, she was standing on a fluffy white cloud shaped like a staircase. It led to a grand castle floating in the sky, made of mist and moonlight. Inside, cloud creatures fluttered around, some shaped like bunnies, others like dragons, and even a few like walking marshmallows. They were kind, but worried. The Cloud Queen, a tall figure made of silver mist and stardust, greeted Luna. "Dear Luna," she said gently, "our skies are losing their colors. The rainbow maker is missing, and without it, the earth will turn grey. Luna gasped. I'll help. But where do I find it? The journey begins. The Cloud Queen handed Luna a glowing map. The Rainbow Maker was last seen near the Thunder Caves beyond the Sunset Valley. Take this map, and this whistle. Blow it if you need help. Luna set off with a cloud bunny named Nimbus. They crossed cotton bridges, tiptoed over twinkling stars, and rode windsurfing eagles. But when they reached the Thunder Caves, they found something unexpected. The Rainbow Maker wasn't lost, it had hidden itself, scared by the noise of the thunder giants. Luna stepped forward. You don't have to be afraid, she said kindly. We need you. The world needs color and joy. The Rainbow Maker, shaped like a glowing harp, shimmered softly. You're brave, it whispered. I will return, saving the sky. Luna and Nimbus led the Rainbow Maker back to the Cloud Castle. As it returned to its place in the sky, it shot beams of color across the heavens. Reds, blues, greens, and golds danced across the clouds. Down on earth, the flowers bloomed brighter, rivers sparkled clearer, and smiles returned to every face. The Cloud Queen knelt beside Luna. You have done something only a kind heart could do. Then, she gave Luna a cloud pendant. Whenever you look at the sky, you'll know you are a part of its magic. Back to the village. Poof! Luna gently floated back down to her village, still clutching the pendant and the golden feather. She ran to tell her friends, but they just laughed and said, "That's a beautiful story." Only Luna and the sky knew the truth. From that day on, every time a rainbow appeared, Luna smiled, because she knew that somewhere above the clouds,
Once upon a time, in a quiet village called Greenleaf, there lived a little girl named Tara. She had big curious eyes, long black hair tied in 2 ponytails, and a heart full of wonder. She loved playing in the fields, climbing trees, and asking questions, lots of questions. One sunny morning, Tara packed her small blue bag with a water bottle, a sandwich, and her favorite red notebook. "I'm going to the forest," she told her mother. "Be careful and stay on the path," her mother said with a smile. "And be back before sunset." Tara nodded and ran off. The forest near Greenleaf was known for its tall trees, singing birds, and colorful butterflies. But the villagers often whispered about a secret hidden deep inside, a tree that could talk. Tara had heard the stories. Most kids didn't believe them. But Tara believed in magic. She skipped along the path, picking wildflowers and humming a song. After walking for a while, she saw a butterfly with golden wings. It flew slowly, as if inviting her to follow. Curious, she walked behind it. The butterfly led her off the path and deeper into the woods. The trees here were older and taller. Their branches danced above her head, and the sunlight turned golden as it passed through the leaves. Suddenly, she stopped. In the middle of a small clearing stood a tree unlike any other. It was huge, with a thick trunk and silver-green leaves that sparkled. On its bark were patterns that looked like smiling faces. "Hello," Tara said, feeling a little silly for talking to a tree. "Hello," said the tree in a warm, deep voice. Tara jumped back. You can talk." "Yes," said the tree, chuckling. "But only to those with kind hearts and brave spirits." Tara's eyes widened. "You're real. You are the talking tree." The tree smiled. "I am called Elderwood. I've lived here for hundreds of years. I know every bird, every flower, and every story of this forest." Tara was amazed. She sat down under the tree. "Will you tell me a story?" Elderwood nodded. "But only if you promise to listen with your heart, not just your ears." Tara crossed her heart. "I promise." And so, Elderwood began. "Long ago," he said, "this forest was full of magic. The animals and trees could speak to each other. But over time, people forgot how to listen. They cut trees, chased animals, and stopped believing in magic. I remained here, waiting for someone like you, someone who still believes." Tara listened closely. One day, Elderwood continued, a great storm came. The forest cried for help, but no one heard. Trees fell, rivers overflowed, and many animals lost their homes. But then, a young girl, much like you, came with her friends. They planted new trees, cleaned the rivers, and built small shelters for animals. Slowly, the forest healed. And even today, her kindness lives in the wind. "That's a beautiful story," Tara whispered. "What happened to the girl?" "She grew up," said Elderwood. "But her heart remained kind. And because of her, magic stayed alive in the forest." Tara smiled. "I want to be like her." "You already are," said the tree. "But remember, kindness is not just in planting trees. It's in every small act, helping others, protecting nature, and listening, even when no one else does." Just then, Tara heard a tiny sound, a squeak. She looked around and saw a baby squirrel stuck between 2 rocks. Oh no, she cried and rushed to help. With gentle hands, she lifted the rocks and freed the squirrel. It looked up at her with shiny black eyes, then ran up Elderwood's trunk. Well done, said the tree. You see, that's magic. Tara blushed. I just helped a little. A little kindness is sometimes the greatest magic of all. Suddenly, the sky turned pink. The sun was setting. I have to go home, Tara said, standing up. Elderwood nodded. Come back anytime. The forest will always welcome you. Tara smiled. I'll visit again, and bring my friends. As she walked back, the golden butterfly flew beside her, as if saying goodbye. When she reached home, her mother hugged her. Did you have a good time? Tara grinned. The best. I made a new friend. That night, as the stars twinkled above, Tara wrote in her red notebook. Today I met a talking tree. He told me a story. He said kindness keeps magic alive. I helped a squirrel. I think I believe more now than ever. And from that day on, Tara visited the forest often. She picked up trash, planted tiny saplings, and taught other children to listen to the sounds of the wind. And sometimes, when the forest was very quiet, she could still hear Elderwood's voice in the rustling leaves. Moral of the story: even small acts of kindness can create magic in the world. Believe in nature, protect it, and always listen with your heart. Once upon a time, in a quiet village called Greenleaf, there lived
ఒకప్పుడు పచ్చని అడవిలో ఒక చిట్టి తెల్ల కుందేలు ఉండేది. అది చాలా ఉత్సాహంగా ఆడుకునే పాపాయి. కాని దానికి పెద్దగా స్నేహితులు ఉండేవారు కాదు. ఒకరోజు అది అడవిలో గెంతుకుంటూ వెళ్ళుతుంటే, ఒక చిన్న చిలుక గాయపడి చెట్టు కింద పడింది. కుందేలు వెంటనే చిలుకను తన చిన్న ఇంటికి తీసుకెళ్లి, ఆకులు, పువ్వులు సర్చి మంచం వేసి జాగ్రత్తగా చూసుకుంది. కొన్ని రోజుల్లో చిలుక మళ్లీ ఎగరగలిగింది. ఆనందంతో అది కుందేలు చుట్టూ చక్కర్లు కొడుతూ, నీవు నా ప్రాణస్నేహితురాలు, అని చెప్పింది. ఆ తర్వాత కుందేలు ఒంటరిగా ఉండేది కాదు. అడవిలోని జింక, తాబేలు, గిల్లి, అందరూ దానికి స్నేహితులు అయ్యారు. చిట్టి కుందేలు ఆ రోజు తెలుసుకుంది, సాయం చేసే హృదయం ఎప్పుడూ మిత్రత్వం తెస్తుంది.
In a small village, there lived a family. The family had 4 members: a mother, father, sister, and brother. The children were 10 years old. Even though they were young, they knew how to use mobile phones and understood modern technology. One day, the children's parents became sick. The mother's name was Sita. Because of her poor health, she couldn't cook food. There were no proper food items in the house, so the whole family felt very hungry. The children's names were Rani and Ramu. Rani saw the mobile phone and thought of ordering food online. She told her family about the idea and decided to order food. The family agreed. Rani tried to place the order, but the village had poor mobile signals. After some time, she successfully ordered food and vegetables online. The items were delivered to their home. The family was very happy. Their relatives also appreciated Rani for her smart thinking. Even though she was only 10 years old, she helped her family using online shopping. The elders in the village didn't know about such technology, but Rani used it well to solve the problem.
The magical mango tree. Once upon a time, in a cheerful village named Chandrapur, nestled between lush green hills and flowing rivers, lived a curious and kind-hearted boy named Arav. Arav was 10 years old, always barefoot, always smiling, and always asking questions. He lived with his grandmother, Aji, in a small cottage at the edge of the village. Behind their cottage stood an enormous mango tree. It had been there longer than anyone could remember. The tree's branches stretched wide like arms inviting the sun, and its trunk was thick and sturdy. Every summer, it would burst into golden yellow mangoes that were so juicy and sweet, villagers would travel from nearby towns just to taste them. But what made this mango tree truly special was a secret, one only Aji and Arav knew. It's a magical tree, Aji had told Arav on his 5th birthday. If you ask it kindly and from your heart, it might just grant you a wish. But Aji, Arav had whispered, eyes wide, how does it work? Aji had simply smiled and said, that's the magic part, my dear. From that day on, Arav would talk to the mango tree often. He'd sit under its shade, telling it stories, singing to it, and asking questions about the stars, the birds, and the breeze.
He didn't wish for anything right away, he liked the tree's company too much. But one summer, something strange happened. The tree didn't bear a single mango. Not one. The villagers were puzzled. Some said the tree had grown too old, some blamed the lack of rain. But Aji looked worried. One night, as the moon shone bright and crickets chirped, Arav sat under the tree and whispered, "Are you okay, old friend? Why no mangoes this year?" A breeze rustled the leaves, and Arav could almost hear a soft sigh. "Do you need help?" That night, Arav dreamt of the tree. In his dream, the tree spoke with a voice deep and gentle like the earth. "A darkness is spreading in the forest beyond the hills. The magic is fading, not just in me, but everywhere." The next morning, Arav told Aji everything. She nodded thoughtfully. "There's a tale, Arav. A tale that speaks of a guardian stone hidden deep in the forest. It keeps balance in nature. If it's disturbed, even magical trees like ours begin to suffer." "Then I have to find it," Arav said boldly. Aji looked at him carefully. "It's a long journey, my dear. And dangerous. But if you truly believe, you must go." So, Arav packed a small bag with jaggery, roasted peanuts, a bottle of water, and one mango, saved from the last season. He also took a little wooden flute that Aji had given him. Before he left, he placed a hand on the tree and whispered, "I'll bring back your magic." Into the forest. The forest beyond the hills was thick and filled with sounds, chirping birds, rustling leaves, distant howls. Arav walked all day, following the path Aji had drawn on a piece of cloth. By evening, he found a stream and rested under a banyan tree. Suddenly, he heard a voice. "Excuse me, young traveler," said the voice. "Do you happen to have something sweet?" Arav turned and gasped. A small monkey, wearing a leaf hat and glasses made of twigs, stood before him. "I'm Chekki," said the monkey, forest librarian and snack enthusiast. Arav smiled and handed him a piece of jaggery. "Delightful." Chekki grinned. "Where are you headed?" "To find the guardian stone," Arav said. Chekki looked serious. "That's no ordinary journey. I'll take you to someone who can help." They traveled together deeper into the forest. Along the way, they crossed a talking waterfall that sang lullabies, and glowing butterflies that lit the path. Soon, they arrived at an enormous burrow. Inside lived a wise old turtle named Tara. Tara moved slowly but spoke with great wisdom. After hearing Arav's story, she nodded gravely. "The guardian stone lies in the heart grove, past the Mishti Mas and Echo Caves," she said. "But beware, the shadow vine has awakened. It feeds on fear and silence." "But how do I defeat it?" Arav asked. "You don't," Tara said gently. "You heal it." Arav didn't fully understand, but he thanked Tara and continued his journey, with Chekki tagging along, of course. Through the Mas and the caves. The Mishti Mas was wet, sticky, and filled with strange creatures. But Arav used his flute to play tunes that calmed the frogs and guided them across. At the Echo Caves, every word they said echoed back louder and more confusing. "Hello, hello, 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 hello." Chekki started shouting nonsense and laughing wildly until Arav whispered, "Let's be silent." And silence, surprisingly, led them out. The caves respected stillness. Finally, after days of walking, they reached the heart grove. But the grove wasn't what it used to be. The shadow vine. The trees were twisted. The sky above was grey. In the center of the grove lay a cracked, dull stone, the guardian stone. Wrapped tightly around it was a massive black vine, pulsing and moving like it was alive. "This must be the shadow vine," Chekki whispered, hiding behind Arav. The vine hissed, "Go away, boy. This magic is mine now." Arav stepped forward. "Why are you hurting the forest?" The vine growled. "They forgot me. Once, I brought balance. Now, I am left alone." "You're lonely," Arav said gently. The vine coiled tighter. "No one talks to me. No one sings. No stories. Just silence and cold." Arav took out his flute and played a soft tune, one he used to play under the mango tree. The melody filled the grove like sunshine breaking through clouds. He sang, too. He told the vine a story about a boy and a tree who were best friends. He spoke of laughter, dreams, and promises. The vine paused. Then, slowly, it began to loosen. Petal by petal, it unwrapped itself from the guardian stone. The crack in the stone began to glow, slowly mending itself. The grove brightened. Flowers bloomed. The air turned warm and sweet. You remembered me, the vine whispered. You healed me. And with that, the shadow vine transformed into a flowering creeper of violet and gold. Home again. With Chekki riding on his shoulder, Arav returned to Chandrapur. As he neared his home, he saw something wonderful. The mango tree was bursting with fruit. Aji was waiting outside, smiling as brightly as the sun. You did it, she said, hugging him tight. I didn't do it alone, Arav said, smiling at Chekki. From that day on, the mango tree gave sweeter fruits than ever before. The villagers celebrated it with music and stories. And once every month, Arav would go sit under the tree and whisper, "How are you today?" Because he knew, magic needed friendship just as much as belief. Moral of the story: even the darkest things can be healed with kindness, music, and love. And never forget, sometimes magic lives in the friendships we grow. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between green hills, there lived a curious little girl named Anya. She loved exploring nature, chasing butterflies, and most of all, eating mangoes. Her grandmother had the biggest mango tree in the village, with fruits so sweet that people from far away came to taste them. But this was no ordinary mango tree, it was magical. Every night, when the moonlight touched its golden leaves, the tree whispered secrets in a language only a few could understand. Anya had heard the tree hum once, soft and low, like a lullaby on the wind. Grandma always said, the tree sings only for kind hearts. One morning, Anya found a little bird with a hurt wing under the mango tree. It chirped sadly, unable to fly. Gently, Anya scooped it up and made a cozy nest in a basket. She fed it rice grains and spoke to it kindly every day. She named it Tilu. A week later, something magical happened. As Anya sat under the mango tree reading a story to Tilu, a golden mango fell right into her lap, without any window rustling. It glowed faintly. Surprised, she took it to her grandmother. That, Grandma said with wide eyes, is a gift from the tree. Only the kindest receive it. Anya was thrilled. But instead of eating it, she ran to her friend Ravi, whose family was very poor and couldn't afford fruit. Here, Anya said, this mango is for you. Ravi's eyes sparkled. Thank you. I've never had a mango like this. That night, the tree sang louder than ever before. Its leaves shimmered, and tiny lights danced around its branches. Anya watched in awe. Suddenly, the tree spoke, not with words, but with a feeling in her heart. Thank you for sharing kindness. From that day, the magical mango tree grew even more fruit, enough for the entire village. But the real magic was not in the fruit, but in the kindness Anya shared. Tilu healed and flew high above the village, always returning to perch on Anya's shoulder like a loyal friend. And every time someone showed kindness under the tree, another golden mango would fall. The villagers learned a lesson: kindness makes the world grow sweeter. And so, the little girl with the kind heart and her magical mango tree brought joy to everyone around them, proving that love, sharing, and a bit of magic can change the world.
అనగనగా ఒక చిన్న గ్రామం ఉంది. అది పచ్చని పొలాలు, చిలికే గంగలు, మరుగుని రేణువులతో పరుచుకుని ఉండేది. ఆ గ్రామంలో ఇద్దరు స్నేహితులు జీవం, ధనం ఉండేవారు. వాళ్లు 10 ఏళ్ల పిల్లలు, కాని వాళ్ల స్వభావాలు వేరుగా ఉండేవి. జీవం చాలా దయగల పిల్లవాడు. ఎవరికైనా సహాయం చేయడం, పక్షులకు గింజలు వేయడం, మిత్రులతో ఆడుకోవడం అతనికి ఇష్టం. ధనం, మరోవైపు, స్వార్థం ఎక్కువగా ఉండేది. ఇతనికి అన్నీ తనకే కావాలనిపించేది. తన దగ్గర ఏదైనా వస్తువు పోతుందేమోననే భయం ఎక్కువ. గ్రామానికి సమీపంలోని కొండల వద్దకు జీవం, ధనం కలిసి వెళ్లారు. వాళ్లు ఆడుతూ, పూలు కొల్లుతూ, ఒక పెద్ద చెట్టు క్రింద కూర్చున్నారు. అక్కడ ఒక చిన్న పక్షి గాయపడి కింద పడిపోయింది. జీవం వెంటనే పక్షిని చేతుల్లో తీసుకున్నాడు. ఇది గాయపడింది. నిన్ను నేను ఇంటికి తీసుకెళ్తాను, నా అమ్మకు చెప్తాను. మళ్ళీ ఎగురగలిగేలా చేస్తాను అన్నాడు. ధనం ఇలా అన్నాడు, ఆ పక్షి నీకెందుకు? దానికోసం సమయం వృధా చేసుకుంటావా? కాని జీవం దానికి తలుపలేదు. పక్షిని ఒక చిన్న బుట్టిలో పెట్టి ఇంటికి తీసుకెళ్లాడు. అతని తల్లి పక్షి గాయం చూసి వెన్నతో నెమ్మదిగా దాని జోడు కట్టింది. అప్పుడే అతనికి అసలు సత్యం అర్థమైంది. నిజమైన సంతోషం స్వార్థంలో కాదు, స్నేహం, దయలో ఉంది. ఈ కథ మనకు చెప్తుంది, మనం మంచి చేయాలి, అది మనకు ఎప్పుడో ఒకప్పుడు సహాయం చేస్తుంది. ఈ కథ పిల్లలకు తెలుగులోనూ వారి చుట్టూ ఉన్న ప్రకృతితోనూ దగ్గరగా ఉంటుంది.